All right, now we're going to spend most of our time on dealing with probably the most important one of these, which is dealing with angry customers, really calming angry customers. So as I said, the person that complains, that's the nice person, they're pretty easy to deal with. The assertive person really is easy to deal with, they just want action. But it's that irate, aggressive caller, that's what we call the angry customer. Now, in the survey that now is a little old, but it's gotten worse, among customers who reported a product or service problem, the percentage of those experiencing rage was 70%. Okay? That means really being upset. Okay? Now just think about yourself. How many times in the past year when something went wrong, you might have gotten really upset. Now maybe you didn't lash out and maybe you didn't let the person know. Did you feel it? Okay, so lots of people are feeling it more and more. And what the research shows is the worse the economic times get, the more people experiencing the rage. And given what's happened in this area in the past couple of weeks, you can imagine. Okay, people. So now, when something goes wrong, it's not like, you know, it's the middle of the summer and we were on vacation and a little something went wrong and so we're annoyed. Now, after everything that's gone wrong, any little thing sends people over the top. What you really need to know is about the hostility curve, okay? The hostility curve, the definition of this curve, it's a pattern of a behavior that an angry person goes through that's both predictable and manageable. So we can predict it and we can manage it. This is what it looks like. Usually someone starts being angry, expresses that anger to you, gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then at some point will begin to slow down. And then, as they're slowing down, they get some supportive behavior, helps them cool off, and now they're able to problem solve again. I'll give you an example. I had a problem with a credit card. I forgot which credit card it was. In any event, I had sent something back, they didn't put it on, so I still had that charge. So I called up the credit card company, and they said they'd take care of it. The next month comes, that charge is still there, but now it has interest on it. So I call them up, explain what happened. They tell me, okay, we'll take care of it. Next month comes, still there, more interest. And now I'm really annoyed. Why? Their mistake. I had to use my time to correct their mistake, and they're not fixing it. So I say, I got to call the credit card company up again. And I'm angry. I'm really angry about this. So I have to go do a workshop. To do the workshop, when can I call up? At lunchtime, between two workshops, right? So I'm giving the workshop. I'm like this. I'm fine. I look fine, right? Look okay? Yeah. You wouldn't know if I'm angry or not right now, because I'm focused on the workshop. Everybody leaves. Get my cell phone. Now I have to call the company. And I know you've been through it. And as you're dialing the number, you could actually feel the anger rising in you. So by the time the person says hello, you're just really, totally angry. Well, of course, the person says, hi, this is Tricia. How may I help you? I mean, went through all the sessions, must have been smiling and all of that. I said, I've got a problem. Can I have your name, please? Yes, it's Gene Buccini. Well, Mr. Buccini, how can I help you? Tell me what your problem is. And I go through the whole thing with the credit card, and she says to me, Gene, and I'm explaining it. I'm going through every single detail. Doesn't say a word to me. Lets me explain the whole thing. Finally, we get it all out. Her immediate response is, well, Mr. Booten, I can't help you. Oh my God, I went through the phone lines. Her immediate response is, Mr. Buccini, I really apologize for everything that you had to go through. I know if I had to make all those calls and I thought it was going to be fixed and it wasn't fixed, I'd be really upset myself. I'm really sorry. You know what? I want to help you, and I don't want you to spend any more time on this than you already have, because you spent an awful lot of time trying to get this fixed. Mr. Buccini, if you happen to have your credit card with you and you can give me all the numbers on it, I can pull it up on the screen faster. So if you happen to have it, I'll get it right up and we can help you. Now, I'm the type of person that when I've got to give somebody, you know, information, I hate when they tell me, give me your customer billing number and all of that. My name's Gene Buccini. There's not 500 of us. It's not Bob Smith, okay? There's not 500 of us in the world. You know, you do the work. You look it up, okay? But she didn't do it like that. She didn't do it like, can you give me your number, which meant it would make it easier for her. She put it in terms of, if you give me your number, I can call it up on the screen faster. And I know you've already spent too much time on this, and I don't want you spending more time. What do you think I did, me the angry person? I figured out my wallet, I'm looking for that credit card number, and I give her the credit card number. And she goes through the whole thing, and she guaranteed me, said, listen, this is going to be fixed. If it isn't, here's my direct line. You call me, I will make sure it gets done. At the end of it, I'm smiling, I'm thanking her for the great job she did, and how she did great customer service and all of that, okay? She did it right. What most of us will do is, as I'm talking and as I'm angrily saying what happened, as soon as I take a breath, they jump in. Okay, let me see how I can help you. My attitude would be, what do you mean? You don't even understand what I've gone through. That's a negative hostility curve. So what happens is people are starting to explain, getting their anger out. They start to slow down. And when they just slow down, not calming down, they kind of take a breath. The staff member jumps in. When the staff member jumps in, it just sends them on a higher point of their hostility curve. I start ranting and raving again about what happened. As soon as that, they jump in. Well, it gets me angrier and angrier and angrier. Not just me, this is people, okay? Now look at this. Look how interesting this is. The staff member argues, defends, or even reasons. So even when you're being reasonable, you're just going to make the person angrier. What you need to do is you need to let them let off that steam. To you, it's them letting off steam. To them, is explaining to you so that you really understand their frustration and what they went through. So don't interrupt them. Now, some people say, you know, the person could talk for 25 minutes. I have to. Yes, that's obviously the extreme. But most people will get it all out. And when they get it out, and you could say, yes, okay, is there anything else I need to know so I can help you? And now they start slowing down. Now is when the supportive behavior. Now is the apology. Now is the empathy. Now is, okay, let's see what I can do that could help solve this right now for you. And that gets the person to cool off. Once the person cools off, then they're back to the rational level. Then they're hearing what you say and you'll problem solve it. Before that, they're not at the rational level, they're not going to problem solve. That's probably the most important thing I could teach when it comes to effective customer service, because that's where 90% of us get it wrong. We don't let the person get it all out. Questions about that?
How do you differentiate between just somebody who's really angry and they just want to just yell at you, scream at you. They just keep doing this to the point, like it's getting to the point where he can physically try to hurt you. And it's not to just get out of there.
Okay, so this is in person?
Yeah, this is in person.
Yeah, once, if they, okay, two answers. If you give them enough time and they start calming down, you could do this. They're not calming down. They're just getting angry and angry. They keep building up like a rocket ship, etc. Your reaction to them is, I understand. I'm going to try and get this resolved, okay? And remove yourself from the situation. I'm going to take care of it. Give me your name, your number, if you have it already. Because number one, you want to be careful of your safety.
Right.
You want to get out of that situation.
Right.
In a few minutes, I'm going to talk about handing it off when it gets to a point that you can't handle it. And by not handling it doesn't mean you don't have the skill to handle it. It's the other person so out of control that you need to bring somebody else in. In 2 minutes, we'll cover that.
Okay.
Okay, so 10 things that can turn a reasonable customer into an irate customer. And I've heard this, telling the customer that they have no right to be annoyed or upset. Well, you really shouldn't be upset about this. You know, we get people out there as soon as we can. What do you mean I really shouldn't be upset? Who are you to tell me how I should feel? Putting the customer on hold for an unreasonable length of time, especially when they're already angry. Okay? Now, I know what some people do in large organizations. They drop them. That's great. They don't have to deal with them. But one of their colleagues does. And the colleague someday will return that favor. So you don't want to do it. Okay? Laying the blame on someone else or the system. They don't want to hear that. They want to know how to get it fixed. Transferring the call just to dump it. We talked about that. We talked about using policy as an excuse. Using words that are uncaring, insulting, or demeaning. Being discourteous. Well, look here. If you're going to be yelling like that, I'm going to hang up on you. Failing to answer the phone or a letter. Blaming the customer for the problem. Well, you know, if you didn't do this, then this wouldn't have happened. Who's the customer? And failing to follow through on a promise. Yes, please.
One thing that would very specifically relate to us is we get patients where we have to discharge them because really Medicare will not pay for it anymore. And then they generally, honestly, I don't think they do get mad at me, but they could. And I'm just wondering how you would deal with that. Where let's say they really are irate, and it's not our fault, Medicare, and vote for the right person, whatever it is.
The key is not waiting to the last minute, so that it's their last visit or next to the last minute.
No, soon we don't do that. Okay, soon we give them a week and a half notice. Well, I wish
even more than that. Okay. How often do you see them in a week? What's the average? Twice?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
I'm saying we can have notice before you're going to discharge them.
I would notify them before then. I would let them know that you've got 6 weeks, you've got however many weeks it is that they have up front. And as I'm giving the therapy, we want to impress upon them their progress so that you're making good progress so that in the next 5 sessions that we have, we can get you to where we need you to be in the next 4 sessions that we have, in the next 3 sessions that we have. So that it's not all of a sudden, in a week and a half, some people it's all of a sudden. So it's letting them see it come. Now, it's all a game of numbers. So out of every 100 people, only 20 are going to react like that. So for the 20 that react like that, if you can let them know ahead of time and you're kind of counting down, 15 of them will be okay with it by the end. But you still got the 5 that are not okay. And I know you want to deal with the 5. So now we've got the person that we let them know, and it's only this, you know, we only got 2 more sessions to go, and they're very angry. I need more, I'm not able to get around the way I need to get around, and all of that. You can advise them of anyone that they can call, if there's someone in Medicare or Medicaid or something like that, or their insurance company that's responsible to say you could find out if they'll allow any more visits for this. If there's anything, obviously, that they can do on their own at home. If there are any other services that are available that might be able to help them. So you're giving them alternatives. Not great alternatives, but you're giving them alternatives. That's what you need to give them. There are always going to be the 2 people out of the 100, and I don't know what the exact numbers are, that are not going to be satisfied. You can't, out of 100 people, I always say this, and I say this to your leaders too, the people that run the organization. There are even some times when and they want to shoot me when I say this, there are even some patients that shouldn't be your patients. That they are so disruptive and so difficult and take up so much time with people that you gotta say, wait a minute, at some point, is it better that they deal with somebody else? I'll give you one example. I was the vice president of a university, and we had a mother that came in with her son and was very upset in terms of the program that we were offering. And what they wanted is they wanted to take a son out of the program so that they can go to another program in another state. And in New England, if you go to a public institution, so if you go to a state college in Connecticut and you want a certain program and they don't have it, you can go to a state college in New Hampshire and only pay the New England State College rate in that other school, even though you're out of state. So what she wanted us to do was approve her going to another state and paying that tuition. And I was saying, we can't do that. We got the program. It's the same program we have. Yeah, well, your program is terrible. It's this, it's that, the other thing. Well, she ranted and raved for about 40 minutes. And at the end of the ranting and raving, I said to her, Mrs. So-and-so, I really agree with you. Our program isn't right for your son. And I really suggest you find the program that he's happier in. And she just stopped. And it was, what do you mean? I said, he's obviously not happy here. You want his 4 years of college to be wonderful years, not miserable years. I really suggest, I'll give you the name of 5 other schools. You can investigate those 5 schools, maybe happier there. Now, I did that once in the entire time I was there. So it is the one time. I hope I answered somewhat your question. If I didn't, let's keep talking.
What I want to mention about that, because I have had that just recently, sometimes if we discharge someone before our goals also, or before the projected visits are finished, because they're not making progress, and we can't show on our paperwork that that person's making progress, we have to stop earlier. They're not happy about that, because they think they were going to get, let's say, 6 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was. And recently a patient of mine wasn't happy, her aide wasn't happy, but we have in place paperwork that says you can stay on our program, but you have to sign a paper which says that if Medicare decides not to pay for these visits, that you're willing then to pay. And I said, I would love to continue to see you. I'm not so sure that Medicare is going to pay for this, and I have to let you sign this form that says that you will pay if Medicare does not pay. Immediately, she and the aide said to me, oh no, I can't take on more expenses. I said, well then it'll be just, certainly if Medicare is willing to pay, there isn't a problem. If Medicare isn't, we just need to know that you will be you'll be comfortable with that. Let me tell you, the whole session after that was very positive, thanking me for coming. No, I can't sign that paper. I'm sorry, I will have to let you go, Fran. But yes, maybe I'll see you again if I need to have services in the future. And she was totally different because I came across as her advocate.
Yes.
I will continue to see you, and I'll be happy to be here with you. and this is the way I'm required to do it. And then it was like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to let you go. And I thought to myself, gee, look at that turnaround. When it
Great job.
has to be you pay.
Great job.
That paperwork helps.
Sometimes they'll ask, how much do you think it's gonna cost? I think it's about a few $100 every time.
And then they're happy to
I
say,
think we're
okay,
okay.
we're
Yeah,
okay.
that's
And I
right.
can do it, and the
Sure.
aide can come across and do the home exercise program, she told me. I think I can help her with that. And I thought, oh, gee.
Just mention money.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Okay, so handling them with compassion. Give them your full attention, evaluate the message, not the customer. Always restate the problem in their own words. We talked about the apology, understanding their anger, what you plan to do.